A strange vision unfolds in Revelation. 4 beasts orbiting the throne of God. Each one represents the hidden meaning of the New Testament church, drawn from the depth of the Old Testament prophecies. These beasts are not metaphors, but manifestations of Christ consciousness spilling over into our reality. In the last video, we examined the lion, a roar of authority, the power pulsing through those who speak plainly and stand firm. But now we turn to the second beast, the calf. And if you think it's weaker, you're already missing the point. If you enjoy deep theological explorations, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get on with it. In the vision of the calf, we're not just handed a symbol, we're pulled into a world where softness becomes strength. The nature of the calf represents devotion and affection. That's why, in the Old Testament, the firstborn calves were considered holy. Their tenderness marked them for sacrifice. What drew them to the altar wasn't force, but purity. If you go back to the book of Exodus, you'll find the instructions given to Moses for consecrating the priests. A bull is slaughtered, its blood caught and scattered across the altar, and the bodies of those stepping into sacred duty. The ritual is raw, visceral, soaked in meaning. But in the book of Hosea, the ritual is reversed. Take with you words and return to the Lord. Say to him, take away all iniquity, accept what is good, and we will pay with bulls the vows of our lips. Bulls, or more precisely, young bulls, are no longer animals, and their sacrifice is translated into speech itself. No more knives. Instead, repentance and praise now spill from the mouth, not blood. So the calf, once bound to the altar, becomes worship, and flesh becomes liturgy. This is the foundation of the New Testament church, encoded in the Old Testament. But for you who fear my name, the Son of Righteousness shall rise with healing in its wings. You shall go out, leaping like calves from the stall. Healing and devotion is encoded in the image of calves leaping with joy, and the same imagery can be found in the Psalms. The voice of the Lord breaks the cedars. He makes Lebanon leap like a calf. Here, affection doesn't speak or preach, it moves and leaps. In both verses, the devout are likened to calves and carriers of divine truth. The fortified city will be desolate, the habitation forsaken, and left like a wilderness. There the calf will feed, it will lie down and consume its branches. The city is gone, collapsed under the weight of the sins and the pride of men. What's left is silence and stillness in desolation. Here, the calf appears again, not as judgment, but restoration. In the ruins and destruction, the sacred finds pasture. Isaiah is showing us the world collapsing under the weight of its own delusions. The earth, emptied and stripped of life, lies under a curse. But then, a quiet restoration begins as the worshippers return one by one. Not warriors or prophets, but calves, steady, obedient and pure. They are the ones Jesus had in mind when he said, "The meek will inherit the earth." But for all its gentleness, the calf carries a dark shadow, and we can't discuss its true meaning without turning to one of the oldest stories in the Bible, the golden calf incident. The Israelites, disoriented by years in the wilderness, are teetering on the edge of mutiny. Their leader Moses, an anchor to the truth, lingers too long on top of Mount Sinai, and in his absence the people grow impatient, and when truth delays, they settle for a substitute. Caught in the swell of impatient voices, Aaron folds under peer pressure and retrieves a symbol once left behind, the calf. Glorious, golden and hollow. You see, even in a pagan culture like Egypt, there was a dim echo of divine truth. They saw the calf as a sign of strength, kingship, and the divine right of Pharaoh to rule. They got the symbol right, but not the meaning. Prophet Jeremiah saw it clearly. He called Egypt a beautiful heifer, and her mercenaries like fattened calves. And after generations in Egypt's shadow, the Israelites had internalized more than they knew. And so they reached back unconsciously and demanded the golden shape of what they'd learned in exile. The golden calf looks familiar and mimics something true, but it's a substitution, a mask worn by absence of divinity. The golden calf is divine affection cut off from truth, desire turned inward on itself. And that, by any sacred standard, is idolatry. But don't fool yourself into thinking that the golden calf vanished in the desert. It didn't. It evolved and rebranded for the modern times. You'll find it in bishops and priests who wear ceremonial vestments but pursue earthly desires of the flesh and calling it love. You'll find it in churches, flying rainbow flags high over sanctuaries turned into dance floors. The golden calf stands behind pulpits where abundance replaces repentance, where Eucharist is forgotten and spectacle takes its place. And you'll find it in church leaders who are seeking closer ties with Islam, trying to wed the Church of Christ to Antichrist, Muhammad and the pagan monuments of Arabia. Summon your power, God. Show us your strength, as you have done before. Rebuke the beast among the reeds, the herd of bulls among the calves of the nations. So, what was shown in the biblical ark. It's a revelation of the calf unfolding in 3 acts. In Aaron's hands, the calf mutates into a false idol, truth sculpted by nostalgia and forged in the furnace of impatience. Then the calf is laid on the altar. Smoke coils upward and prayers hover between incense and instinct. Here affection meets truth. The animal becomes offering and the flesh becomes dialogue. In Revelation, the calf returns transfigured, not a beast of burden, but as Christ consciousness, presenting devotion and affection. And in the end, this is what the calf in the book of Revelation represents: those who sing, teach, and serve in the church, those who labor not for spectacle, but for spirit. They are the beasts in the temple, moved by affection and shaped by hunger for the kingdom. The calf is not livestock or sacrifice, it's worship as movement, the silent draw of the soul toward God.